Good morning, tribe. Welcome, welcome. Okay, let me just come over here so I can see the comments when y'all pop up. Good morning. How are you? Happy Sunday. I got some raw shit for y'all today. And the reason I'm sharing this is because I feel like I always would have wished for somebody to share this with me along the journey. So welcome to Casa Mandy Perry. If you don't know me, welcome to my bedroom. Welcome to my morning. If you do, please say hello. If you're on the replay, hashtag 100%. That's what we're doing today. Hashtag 100%. Good morning. Okay, so if you've been tracking with me, then you know that over the last 3 years has been quite the epic journey, going from the girl who was on welfare to running a global company at this size. Good morning, Stefan. How are you, brother? And that also in the past week, I joined a really high-level mastermind. It was over a 6-figure investment for me. And I've done this multiple times, right? Like I always do the work that I ask my clients to do. Good morning, Tiffany. I don't ever ask my clients or my people to do anything that I haven't done myself. Hi, Rebecca. Hugs. Hi, baby, too. And I'm just going to tell you guys exactly how this went down, right? Like, why did I join the mastermind, and then what happened after, and how do I get through stuff like this? Because I see my clients doing it all the time, right? They'll invest in my mastermind or, come to the live event that's this coming weekend. Or they'll, launch into a high-end one-on-one or one of my high-end programs. And, there's a squeeze that happens after, right? Because up until now, the way that we've showed up has not, if I continued to be the same person I am today, then making this 6-figure investment would not be worth it, because I would not make that worth it if I just continued to be the woman that I have been up until now. And I see that with my clients a lot. And here we are. It's like we will make a move that requires us to show up as bigger people, which is the whole point. But then when the rubber actually hits the road and now it's time to change the behavior, there's a tension that happens. And it's raw and it's real and it's very real. And I've gone through it multiple times. So, lucky for me, I have some seasoning behind it. It's pretty standard in my life. And this one that I just did is really huge because now I'm a single mom. I've got 2 kids. I'm in a state where I don't have family. And I'm being called to show up a lot more powerfully for my children as they're aging and different life things are going on. The squeeze is real. So, and then also knowing I'm going to be traveling about 10 days a month while I'm calling myself to double my business, rearrange the back end of my company, and then just be an incredible, mom for my children. And knowing that even the self-care that I do is going to have to up level because I'm going to need a lot more energy to do what I'm about to do. So this is what I did, right? I invested in it. And then I gave myself a few days to just be a big fat disaster. Like, go ahead, flip the fuck out, Mandy. That's what you need to do. Do it. Go drink, hang out with friends, stay up late, distract yourself, just really have tons of fun, do all the fun things, had an absolute blast, and just let myself be messy for a minute and let myself celebrate and fall apart and strengthen, all of it happening in this really human way all at once. And you probably wouldn't think, now as I was doing this, right? So as I basically decided yes, Mandy, for the next 4 days, you get to just do whatever you want. Literally whatever feels super fun, you're just going to do, and you're going to have an absolute time of your life. I've laughed until I've cried. I have just absolutely had a ton of fun. But also at the same time, I've been prepping myself, and I said, you have until Monday to be a disaster. Go do what you're going to do. But at the same time, I locked in, having food delivered to the house, the support that I have beginning on Monday, the workout routine that I'm going to do with the new schedule that I've created for myself, and basically came up with 911 plans for myself and really locked into my vision, my why. So basically my dream is so damn clear that when I wake up in the morning, it's basically just stepping into it. And so consistently I've been locking this in. And even while I'm letting myself have fun and be messy, I've been checking in with what felt good about this and what didn't. What messy stuff do I tell myself I wish I could do, but I really actually don't want to do? And what stuff was this messy stuff that I really do want to keep doing? And how do I create space for that moving forward? So even in the messiness, I was up leveling, and I've been, preparing and calling myself to a higher level, which is really fun. But I feel like a lot of people don't actually know how to get through the squeeze. And one of the things, hi Amanda, one of the things that that I've really felt on my heart for my tribe is like, you deserve to know what your life will feel like at 100%. Like, to really know. So I have this vision in my head, and this is super vulnerable to say to you guys. I'm just going to say it because I want us all to have this. I really do. So, there's certain things that I lock in my life that I envision for myself that are a clear dream that call me to more. Like, why am I going to be willing to wake up earlier and go to the gym earlier? Why am I going to be willing to double basically the hours that I've been doing? Why am I willing to discipline myself to that next level with my children and, really doing the things that I don't enjoy doing but want to create memories of doing with them to the next level? Why am I going to cut out some of the distractions that have been going on to call myself to this next level? Why does it really matter? My bills are paid. I have the time of my life. I travel the world. I have you guys, this incredible tribe of people that I get to do life with, and basically every day someone's reaching out to me and telling me how their life is changing or the way that they're showing up, and I'm just celebrating people, and it's an epic life. It's so incredible. So why go through all of this to go to the next level? What's the point of even calling myself to this place? Why lock in an 8-figure business? Why put myself through the pain of the growth that's required in order for me to get to this next level? And one of the things that I locked in is just, we deserve to know what life feels like at 100%. If I'm being really honest, and I know this might be triggering for some people, yeah, I've been able to create, I created a $500,000 business within 2 years of opening the doors, and went global the first year, and it's scaled ever since. It just increases by about 6 or multiple 6 figures every year. And that's pretty amazing. But if I'm being really honest, I'm still not anywhere near 100%. I'm just getting started. Hi, Tina. And I know that's true for most of you guys. Like, it feels like you're showing up really big, and it feels like you're pushing yourself and you're growing, you're expanding, you're learning, but you're really not. You're so not. You are showing up at a good, 60%? Come on, tell me below. Even if we're on the replay, like, let's just call a spade a spade. Like, let's just tell the truth for a second. Like, what percent out of 100 are you showing up at, for real? Of what you're truly capable of, the strongest part of you, the clearest part of you, who knows exactly who you are and what you're here to do on the planet. What percent are you showing up? Are you anywhere near 100%? And what would life look like and feel like if you were showing up at 100%? Like, what would it feel like if we started running after our dreams, if we locked in a crystal clear vision of, this is what it's going to look like, this is what I want, and then we just ran. We ran away from the voices, the blocks, the excuses, the bullshit, the distractions, and we literally just locked in and said, I get to know what life feels like at 100%. I just get to know that. 50%. Thank you, Tina. This is just hashtag tell the truth. I would say I've been showing up at a good 70%, sometimes 60%. That's where I've been showing up. And the truth is, I didn't really always know that. It's sometimes I really feel like I'm showing up at 100%, but when I slow down enough to stop and lock in the vision of in my dreams, it's very clear how the level I'm showing up at. And it doesn't mean that we don't get to have the fun, epic experiences. We don't get to be messy. We get to have all of that. That's all part of showing up at 100%. It just means that we have something that we're showing up for, so that when we wake up in the morning and our feet hit the floor, there's a fire and a drive and a clarity and an excitement and a passion inside of us, because we know what we're here to do and we're crystal clear on what our vision. It feels like less than 50%. I don't know about that one, Rebecca. Miss just had a baby. I think all moms who have babies get above 50% just for that alone. We might be wanting to bump that up to a good 60, 70, 40%, the first number that came to me. This is just truth telling. And really, how much more fun, right? Like, it's not about taking something away or creating pain in our life or having to be like disciplined and like everything's regimented and it doesn't feel good. It's about actually how amazing it's going to feel when we are showing up at 100%. Like, how blessed we'll feel and how powerful and excited and the momentum and results that'll start accumulating, and who we become and how much we grow and how much we season and how much we learn from being the human being who's showing up that way. It is time for 100%. Some days currently feels like 100%, but big picture, it's definitely not. And that is really the call here, right? So when I think about how, like, the times that I've showed up and I've half-assed it, I got away with it. I knew this was good enough. I knew I could push it to the next month, or, and everyone I've ever talked to who's in this field has done that. I mean, we're human. This is just human behavior. The people that you think are so perfect are so not. They're just like you. Only the people that are ahead of us are calling themselves, they have a different set of standards. They're calling themselves to a different level. So the people that it feels like that they feel like I'm ahead of them, it's just I'm calling myself to a different level. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I shit my pants. Like, I made this investment and realized, this is what I realized, like, holy shit. I'm going to have to up my workouts and my eating. I'm just going to have to clean that up because I need more energy. That's cool. I want more energy. I'm a single mom with 2 kids, and I'm there. Like, my son's about to graduate this year. He's a senior. There's a lot that needs to be done for a senior year. My daughter, she's having some things that are going on that I'm navigating and really just making sure she's well taken care of. She's an absolute genius, and she needs a lot. She's just one of the children that requires a lot. And then obviously having like a social life. Sorry, that was my computer. Obviously having a social life. I'm single. I'd really like to find love again. And then doubling my business while I'm working 10 days less a month. And trusting myself 6 figures wise to back that and show up and do it. Yeah, I shit my pants. I was like, I have zero evidence whatsoever that I can pull that off. None. I have absolutely no evidence whatsoever that I'm capable of doing that. And as a matter of fact, there's a few things in this arena that I've tried multiple times and I failed at. I just really wasn't able to pull myself to that next level. It feels like 20%. Yeah, well, let's just tell the truth. Well, you know how powerful you are. You know what you're capable of, and we can just tell the truth about it. No, it does not have to be painful. Growing feels painful. It just does because our nervous system freaks out. So that's just the way our body reacts to it. But it's all in how we identify with the feeling. So, okay, so here's an example, right? So like I'm sitting there like, holy shit, Mandy, what makes you think that you can do that? I'm like, you're going to stress yourself out or push yourself to this new level, and then you're going to end up being messier to the kids, which just means you're going to eat and you're going to stress out or drink, and then you're not going to go to the gym and you're not going to push yourself to the next level. And then I just started laughing. Like, living in that space is so unfamiliar to me now that I just started laughing like, whoa, I forgot how horrible and how gross it feels to feel that way. Like, this morning, I literally was freaking out like, oh my God, tomorrow's the day. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm going to fail. And what if I fail? And then I was just like, oh, this feels so unfamiliar. It feels like an alien invaded my body and took over. But that's where I used to live. That used to be exactly what it feels like, right? But the truth is, the harder you work, the harder you show up and surrender. Like, you're not going to surrender if you've showed up really big and worked your ass off. And it doesn't feel like pain. It feels incredible. It feels, do you know what pain is? Pain is making yourself a promise and not keeping that promise. Pain is the regret of looking back and saying, I knew I had more in me to be a mother. There was more I had to give my children. I had more love. I had more patience. I had more focus. I had more resources. I had more intelligence. Like, I had more to give my children. Pain is knowing that you wanted to travel the world, and then you look at your life and you're stuck in a position and finances that you don't have the freedom to go travel, and you don't get to meet new people. Pain is feeling like, I don't have friends. I don't have connection. I'm not leaving an impact. I have nothing to give other people. That's real, actual pain. When we talk to people who are on their deathbed and they're looking back at their life, their number one pain is feeling like, I should have stopped caring what people thought and went after my dreams. I should have ran after my dreams. I should have gone for it. Whether I failed miserably or not, at least I tried, and at least I knew I went for it, and I became the human being that you become while you're going for your dreams. I was brave enough to tell myself the truth about what my dreams are. And then, like we're doing this weekend, and there are 2 spots open this weekend to the live event. If this is calling to you, get your ass in the room. I would so love to have you there. The work is for us to lock in the vision, a crystal clear vision and dream of why. Why am I going to do this? Because I don't have to, and so I won't. And I've proved that to myself over and over. And until I got really crystal clear what my why was, I could not call myself to a next level. So here's the vulnerable thing I was going to tell you guys. I joined the mastermind that I'm currently in now, and like sort of did the scheduling and figured out like, oh my God, that's like basically 10 days a month I'm going to be traveling. Like, how am I going to do this? And then doubling my numbers and what I was calling myself to. And I had to lock in a why. I gave myself permission, like, you got 4 days, you got till Monday, Mandy, go ahead, go be an asshole, do whatever you're going to do, have the fucking time of your life. I'm proud of you for showing up to this. This is going to be incredible, and go be a disaster, because come Monday, we're going to that next level. That's it. So, I prepared everything for myself, so I know that I have like the best platform ever for me to show up in, but I had to know a why. Right? And this process has brought me to so much levels of success because I lock into something that actually matters to me, that really does drive me to get out of bed in the morning, to show up on the Facebook Lives, to create the new program that I'm doing, to go on the back end of my team, to make tough decisions, to do scary things. I'm willing to do them because I know why I'm doing this. And sometimes the why is something that I feel like people would judge. Oh, well, It doesn't need to be their why. It's my why. Sometimes my why is very socially acceptable why. I want to give back. I want to change people's lives. That's a very social acceptable why. That's considered noble. Who cares? That's my why when that's my why when that's my actual why. Sometimes my why is way more self-serving, and that's amazing and incredible too, because whatever we truly desire and long for is what we're meant to have. It's what we've meant to have. Oh my God, Rebecca, I love you. It hurts my heart, but it also hurts my heart feeling like I can't provide for my kids, not doing that to them. Good morning, Jason. Yeah, it's not a thing, right? We're not going to actually let that happen. We just do it until the hardest part is the meantime when we don't have evidence that it's going to work out the way that we think, and we're afraid that we're screwing everything up by not showing up. So the work has to be to lock in our why. What why will get us to show up in our power? Because we're capable of more. Everyone on here who was brave enough said what percent they're actually showing up in life at, and we get to tell the fucking truth. That's it. We're just going to tell the truth. That's all there is to it. And then we're going to be brave enough to look at what we actually truly desire and what will call us to that next level. Sometimes it's going to be socially acceptable things. Sometimes it's going to be children. Sometimes it's going to be service and giving back. And sometimes it's going to be something you need or desire or long for, right? So the one that I really locked into was like, why am I doing this? Like, do I feel like I have to? Do I just have something to prove? Like, I really check in with myself and just tell myself a really honest truth. Like, are you trying to prove something to someone? Do you feel like you're only safe if you go to this level? Like, am I being neurotic? And like, what's really happening? What's really going on? And the truth is, inside, I know I'm showing up at 70%. I know sometimes 60%, sometimes 80, 90%. I have like weaves of that, but I've not consistently showed up at 100% at all. And I'm unavailable for that. And I'm not going to go to my grave wondering how much better I could have showed up and enjoyed the results, rewards, and growth from showing up at 100%. And so I had to get really clear on my vision. And even though it's really vulnerable to say, I'll tell you guys what that is. It's been so many different things along the journey, and I've really shared it as much as I could because I think that's helpful. It's not always why. Sometimes I think people think it should be easy to figure out your why, but it's not. It's not easy to know why you're here on this planet and what lights your soul on fire. It's not always easy. Sometimes it's a little bit easier than others, but sometimes it's a real challenge because it requires a lot of bravery. You got to stop, you got to shut up, you got to tune in, you got to quiet the mind, and you got to tap into your soul and your heart. And you got to really feel in a vulnerable way. You got to be wide open to what actually really matters to you. What is the drive? Because if deep in your heart and soul, all you want is really epic romantic love, the kind where you feel like you're each other's half and you're just doing life together and you just share everything with each other. And in your head, you have a story that if I build my business, it's going to take me away from that. I'm not going to have time to find love, or I'm going to be too busy for someone. They won't want to love me. You're not going to show up. Do you see what I'm saying? The things have to be cohesive and really woven together in a way where it feels clear and it feels like you get to have the deepest longings of your heart. And that is the magic work. It's two-folded, right? So one half of it is just knowing and being honest about what you really desire. The other half is like, how are these things being woven together? And am I clear how this is going to be woven together? And if I'm not really clear, can I at least decide and be really crystal clear that I get to have all of the pieces? And release the bullshit story that like I can only have one or the other. I can only be a good mom or travel the world. I can only make tons of money or serve people. All these bullshit stories that is just completely false. Have we done the work to get that locked in? Because you're not lazy, you're not undisciplined, you're not any of those things. You're just unmotivated. And really, motivation comes from something intrinsic. It's like it's something inside that pushes us to go to a new level and to push and move past the chatter in our brain that I can't, and this is hard, and what if I fail, and who am I to do this, and the stories someone else put on you, the arbitrary rules that don't belong there, the societal standards, and standing out. How about just standing out because you're incredible and showing up at 100%? You're not going to be like any of the people around you. You're already not like the people around you, and you're only showing up at 40, 50, 60, 70%, and you're already rising above. That's just the way it is. And you're going to rise and rise and rise until you soar, because that's the place you can call people to. We cannot call people to a higher level from the same place they are at. That is just not the way it works, right? So the vision that I locked in for myself was like multifaceted. But if I'm being really honest, there's this one vision that I judged myself for, like, oh, what does that mean? Why do you want that, Mandy? And then I learned, like, yeah, that's because you do. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that locking into this vision, because it really actually resonates with me, is going to call me to a new level, which will impact the people around me, the people in my tribe, the planet on some level, right? So it's really this vision of, there's one of the events is in Fiji, and it's like a wealth and mastery. It's a wealth and health type of retreat and event, and it's 7 days, and it's obviously really incredible. I mean, I saw photos of people taking private helicopters, and I believe it's on a private island that's owned by the persons who I joined their mastermind, like all this crazy stuff, right? So it's going to be absolutely incredible. And then I envisioned myself being this, like, literally I know what it feels like to show up at 100%. I've been showing up at 100% consistently. I have massive amounts of energy. You know, obviously I'm in incredible shape, and I'm very crystal clear and confident. I have this feeling in my side about my children, like the level I've showed up for my children and calling them to a new level. That one of my old patterns with my kids is kind of like, especially with my son, like I protect him a little bit. I've done it always. We've gone through some hell together, and, you know, I see the man he's becoming, and I need to stop protecting him. And there's certain things that I've still sort of caved on that I'm calling myself to. And there, you know, there's these things that really matter to me, and they're in my heart. And I have the sense when I'm there at Fiji, which means that I've doubled my my business as well. So because I'm there, so I've made it to that point. And I have this feeling inside, like I'm proud of how I'm showing up for my children. I have this confidence in who they're becoming. I see them as really strong and able, and I don't baby them at all. I don't protect them at all. I really, really sort of push them off the cliff like a mama bird and let them fly, which is who I feel called to be for them, and not necessarily who I have been. Tiny bit, but not anywhere near the level I feel called to. And then more importantly, I'm in the room with these really incredible heart-centered people who are doing life the way I'm doing life and have been successful doing it to the level that I'm calling myself to. And I have something to give back in that room. There's a value. I've done the work enough where I have a value to give back in a room full of those kind of people, and also to absorb. And I sort of had this vision of me just like crying and just being so grateful to be there, and just like really like set in that moment of what that feels like, and being completely open to just absorbing from all the people around me, and then bringing that to my tribe, and how much value I'm going to bring to the tribe, and the connections, and how much value I can bring in that room because I've showed up at 100%, and how different my kids' life will be, and how different they will turn out, or the trajectory that happens just because I decided to be brave enough to put myself into a position that I can't back out of, that I really don't have a choice. Like, you've gone and done it now, Mandy. Now you have to show up at that next level, and how that feels inside. And that's the vision that I lock in over and over and over. And there's peripheral ones, right? Like me and Calvin and Bailey in Bali, and like getting breakfast and massages in the morning. And my kids are like, well traveled, but like in a different kind of way, because I think when we've done it in the past, it's more been scary for me. Traveling was scary for me. I mean, a lot of bad things happened when I was a kid, and if it can happen, I sort of had a story that it will happen to me. So it's been kind of scary for me to travel. So the vision I have where we're traveling, again, is locked into a feeling. It's an experience. The feeling that I lock in is like, I feel safe. I feel like my kids are safe. They're smart. They're savvy. They know how to travel. I don't have to worry about them. I don't have to protect them as much. It goes back to that same thing I'm calling myself to with them. And then obviously I have this epic man in my life who's really loving and tender and gentle and does these romantic things. And I feel super comfortable being romantic with him. And he's vulnerable and raw and shares his feelings. And he really believes in me, and he cheers me on, and he tells me I can do it. And he tells me he's proud of me. And we get to frolic life together, and he's in his purpose. You know, he's making an impact or a difference in his life in whatever way that is for him that lights him up, and he's just a man whose soul's on fire that way. And I just lock in these feelings of these moments, and I know it's like I feel a sense of, oh my God, I can't wait to feel that feeling. Like, I just can't wait to be in Fuji and smell it and feel the air, and to be sitting in a chair and to have that moment where I just start crying, and I'm like, this is it. Like, I'm here at that moment. I have shown up this way for my kids. Like, I will go to my grave knowing I showed up at 100%. And I didn't do it perfectly every day, and nobody gives a shit, because you're going to screw it all up and it ain't going to matter. You just keep going. You just go to the next level. We literally just keep running after our dreams and running after our dreams, and know that we would rather shoot for the stars and fail miserably and have showed up brave than to never aim, than to go to the grave never knowing what we could have been if we had showed up at 100%. And for a lot of people, that means you're going to have to do something really brave. You're going to have to do something different than what you're doing, because the circumstances, there's no pain that's going to happen. There's no real big pain. So you're not avoiding a big pain, or there's no real reward that you're locked into. And I use both of them. Both of them work for me. The pain of knowing that I invested over six figures, and didn't show up to that next level, the pain of envisioning what could have been for my children, the pain of envisioning that feeling, that sensation of the exhale and that power of connecting to really high level people and bringing that to my audience and being someone of that level of value so that I have so much to outpour to people, to just give and give and give and give endlessly and just have so much to give. I'm unwilling to not experience that. And so that's what it took for me. It took, like, if you don't, this and this and this, here's the reality of what's going to happen. Can I just tell you how painful it was to tell myself the truth about what would happen, what it would look like for my kids if I didn't shift? Like, just a real, honest truth. This is what it would feel like for them. This is maybe how it would turn out. This is the consequence, like the worst case scenario. They would feel like this. It would be like that. And then lock in a vision of what it would be like if I show up on what I feel called to in my soul. Not what the world tells us we're supposed to be like as a mother, not what the church or my parents or anyone else on the planet or anything else on the planet ever said about who I'm supposed to be as a parent, but what I feel in my soul. Nobody knows better than me what my children need. Nobody on the planet. I know in my heart, and I know in my soul, and I know what I'm capable of, and I'm not showing up for them the way I could be. And I'm unavailable for that. That's a pain I'm unwilling to go through. And I'm unwilling to know how many people's lives I could have touched or healed, or, if I just were a little more vulnerable, told the truth, and I really just called myself to more and put myself in that circumstance, how many more people, what bigger impact could I have made? I couldn't have dreamed up in a million years that this would have happened when I first did this. The first time I made my first investment, when I made barely $4,000 ever as a coach, and I invested in a $25,000 program, and I shit my pants then too. But I was messy for a lot longer. I didn't give myself a couple days. That was like a couple months back then. Now it's a couple days of to just like let all the mess out and call myself to the next level. And I feel really passionate about this work because I'm really unavailable for my tribe beating themselves up for not showing up better, not being a better parent, not being a better coach, not getting the results in their business, not eating better, not working out better, not reading better, not learning better, not retaining better, not teaching better, not, whatever the thing is in our life that we love to beat ourselves up for. I'm completely unavailable for it because it has nothing to do with how strong you are or how disciplined you are. It has everything to do with you, or have you told yourself the truth, and have you locked into your passions and your vision? That's the work. So if this feels called to you, I really, this morning I was just thinking, I really, my fire is about this right now. I want everybody to be locked into the vision the way I am, because it actually carries you. The only thing I could ever explain that feels like it is a runner's high. It's I don't know if you've ever gotten a runner's high, or the other time is when something bad may happen to my child, when they're in a dangerous position, when they're walking across the street and there's a car coming, any of those moments that have happened with my child, the feeling I feel inside, it's like this invincibility, this complete certainty. There's I'm completely 100% laser focused, nothing distracts me from that moment. And locking in, really truly locking in your why, and knowing your vision and knowing your dream, and being honest about the consequence if we don't show up at 100%, if we don't call ourselves to more, if we don't put ourselves in position. And here's the deal. If you've put yourself in a position where you're required to show up and you still didn't, you didn't put yourself in a position you're required to show up. You put yourself in a safe position. That was uncomfortable, but it didn't require you to show up. Because trust me, when shit hits the fan and you have no choice to make it happen, you always have. Never in your life has there been a time when you absolutely had to show up, but you just didn't. Your kids needed you, your family needed you, you needed you. Something was going on, someone or something was required, this had to happen, or else really bad shit was going to happen, and you just didn't show up, you just didn't do it. Never. It's never happened. So you didn't put yourself in a position where you're required to show up. I've done that twice now, and I was like, God damn it. I look back and I'm like, I wasn't required to show up. I was kind of just lying to myself and pretending this is big, and it was big, and I did grow and I did learn, but I wasn't required to show up. I could still half-ass it and make it work. And so I did. And that's just human nature. So it's really telling ourselves a much bigger truth. So here's what I have for you guys. I do have one-off calls. I know a couple people have been asking about that this week. I know there's a whole bunch of messages because I've given myself the last 2 days to really not get back to people and just doing the regular things that I do in my business and really nothing else, because I've been being a big, huge asshole, which has been a ton of fun. And I'm ready now for tomorrow. I feel ready for tomorrow. It feels really good. I'm not even saying I recommend doing that. I'm just saying that's what I do. I'm not sure why I do it. It's just sort of the thing I do. It's like a celebration slash last hurrah. It's like, I don't know, what came to mind is like when you have a bachelorette party and it's like your last hurrah before you get married forever. It's like that. It's like, it's saying goodbye to a version of yourself that you'll never go back to. And you know that. There's something pretty epic about it. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. It's really amazing. It's hard. It's scary as shit, but it's really incredible and I love it. I just wouldn't do life any other way. So I do have the one-off calls, a 60 and a 90-minute call where we can flesh this out. But I also do have the live event coming up, and this is going to be incredible. Like I'm so locked into the journey I'm taking you guys through because I've done this so many times and I'm really seasoned at being able to lock this in now. And there's an experience I'm going to take you through. So it's not, like on the call, we'll get clear, you'll know what it is, but it's going to go to a whole deeper level if you can come to the experience. And I know for some people that's not available for them. So just reach out to me, we can book the one-on-one call and I can even maybe send you some of the recordings that I would use. But if you can be there in the room with the other people and the energy of everybody around us and doing it together, and I'm right there to answer all of your questions and to make sure that you feel locked into this when you leave, that would be really incredible. We still have a couple spots left. If you haven't heard, it's Sarasota, Florida at the Sarasota Westin, November 22nd and 23rd, which is Friday and Saturday coming up. If you're interested in coming, just send me a PM. Yes, the runner's high and the child feeling. I've been in both. So how you know if your why is really locked in is your behavior will change. You have the right why and the right pain. It's pain. I've never taught this before. It's sort of coming to me as we're talking, but it really is 3 pieces. It's telling the truth about the pain that you will actually experience if you continue to show up the way you've been showing up. What will it, like, tell the truth, play it out, play that scenario out, play it out for 5 years, 10 years. What's that going to feel like? Then it's putting yourself in a circumstance that you really have to show up. You're required to show up, and then locking in your why, that you're really grounded and rooted into why I'm doing this. What is my vision? What is the thing driving me? What's giving me the runner's high? And you'll know you've done it correctly when you get the runner's high. And I hesitate to say that because people are perfectionists and they're like, how do I know I'm doing it right? But this one, it is what it is, because either your behavior is changing and you're showing up to a new level, you're bumping up that 40, 50, 60, up into the 70, 80, 90, 100%, and you're feeling like, holy shit, finally, for once in my life, I'm really, truly showing up at 100%. Like, I'm really doing it. I've done it before. I've gone through seasons of 100% because I did that work. And then I shifted out of survival into thriving, and I got really lost a little bit. I got confused, like, well, you don't have to do anything. Everything's good. Like, bills are paid. My kids even have $3 million in life insurance for me. Like, I don't have to. I didn't know what to do with that feeling. It was so unfamiliar to me. I only ever had to find a way to make sure everybody's safe, find a way to put food on the table, find a way to pay the bills, juggle. It was just my whole life was like that. It was always just surviving. So, I went through the season of not knowing how to lock in a why because I didn't know how to do it based on desire. I only know how to do it based on protecting people. And so the growth and the shift for me is learning how to stop protecting people and shift to a whole deeper level of thriving and service, which I'm really freaking excited about. And I've now brought myself to that level of why. And for sure, some voices came up. So you might have some voices that come up. If you come into the live event, I'm going to help you navigate that stuff. If you book the call, I'll help you navigate it. You'll judge yourself for the stuff that comes up, but it's really easy to release. And this process is very, very simple. I'm like, that's the pieces. So, if you aren't feeling called to do this work with me, at least those are the pieces. Like, I want you to have this breakthrough. I want everybody to know what it feels like to shoot for the stars, to show up at 100%, and to have that moment that you've locked in so deeply that it's going to happen. And it's just a matter of like, it's like waiting for Christmas when you're a kid. It's like Christmas is 2 days away and the night before you're sleeping and you know what I mean? Like, that's what it feels like. It's like, I can smell it. I can taste it. I can feel it. I'm 100% clear that I'm going to have that moment. And the tears rolling down my cheek are going to be such an epic moment. And that's the way it was when I envisioned myself taking my kids on vacation the first time. And I had that frame, that empty frame on my bureau. And I just had this daydream of like, imagine if my business could pay for me to take everybody on vacation and we could do like this vacation together. Like, it was so unfathomable back then. Like, I couldn't even dream. Like, it was so ridiculous. And I just locked it in and I just felt it and felt it and felt it. And I remember the day, what it felt like to put that picture in the frame. Like, there were the 5 of us on vacation somewhere tropical. And when you have that type of feeling and sense inside of your body and you've locked it into that level, you will be a different human being. All the things that you just couldn't get yourself to do, you magically just start doing. It's like you just do them. It's not hard anymore. It's not like, you'll have temper tantrums for sure. You'll have temper tantrums and fits, but you'll show up. You do. And so I'm serious about, like, you haven't locked in your why if your behavior isn't changing. Because when you have the right why, that's like saying, the example I use, because I think we all can just understand this to such a deeper level. If my daughter was across the street and there was some dangerous man walking up to her who I knew he had intentions to hurt her, would I like sit there and hesitate? Would I be messy? All the behaviors that show up for me, the hesitation or the doubting myself or the feeling like I might be a bad mom. Would I sit there in that moment and hesitate and wonder if I'm a bad mom because I let her be on the other side of the street and I shoulda, woulda, coulda? Or am I just going to act? I'm literally just going to, like, instant action. There's not going to be thinking and thoughts, and I might be freaking out inside, but I'm on my way to my daughter and I'm going to get there before him. And that's what you feel will shift inside of your body. Like, your behavior really will change because you've gotten into alignment. This is actually, so if you hear people talking about alignment, this is a big part of alignment. I used to hate that word because I felt like it was like, I don't know, I'm aligned with the universe and blah, blah, blah. And I just didn't like it. I just thought it was weird. This is what alignment is, right? And albeit I still don't much like the word, it is what it is. Like, who you are, who you feel called to be, your desires and longings, and your beliefs about what's available for you and how that's going to work out are locked in. And then we go through an experience to lock it into your nervous system so that you're anticipating it. And when you're anticipating it, it activates a certain part of your brain that will find resources and will find like everything that you ever needed to walk this out. Your brain will begin to back up. So before the nervous system was the thing stopping you, now the nervous is the thing pulling you forward like a runner's high. And that is a powerful way to show up on the planet. And that is when you will finally see that it was never you. It was never undisciplined, or I'm fucked up from my childhood, or, I just always feel guilty, or I rescue people, or whatever stories and bullshit that we had. You get to release it really easily. So this is the work I'm calling my tribe to. Hi, Jess. How are you? That explains it well. Makes sense to me. Thank you. You're so welcome. It is a feeling. It's 100% a feeling. Because think about what stops you. It's not a tangible thing that stops you. Even the story like, no, it is, I just don't have the time. Bullshit. Of course you have the time. You have the time for everything required and your standard. Everybody does. We all have time for the things that are our standards. And so our standards won't raise until we're required to. And it's going to be a vision of where you're locking in. So every time something has stopped you from being the human that you feel called to be, from being all in at 100%, it's a feeling. It's a fear that I'll fail, a fear I won't make the investment worth it, a fear that I'll become a selfish human being, a fear I won't be a good enough parent, a fear I won't be a good enough partner or lover, a fear that I'm not good looking enough or smart enough, or I don't speak good enough, I don't have enough powerful stuff to say. Who's going to want to listen to me? What if people judge me? If I scale my business, I'm going to lose the people I have. I'm going to, people are going to be mad at me if I raise my prices. All the stuff that we have. I don't know how to run a team. I don't know how to organize things. I'm too messy, blah, blah, blah. It's just endless. Hi, Julie. Who else is here? Say hello. So if you're on now, the hashtag is hashtag 100%. So the call, run after your fucking dreams. Knock it off. We're going to go in at 100% because we literally, not because you have to, not because something bad's going to happen if you don't. Most people on the planet will never live at 100% even for a day or a moment in their day. Nothing bad's going to happen if you don't. It's not like a horrible, bad you and scary. It's literally just you deserve to know what that feels like. You deserve to lay your head on the pillow at night with a big ass grin on your face and a feeling and a fire inside of your body and this feeling of like confidence and surrender and ease and power and gratitude because you know what it feels like to show up at 100% because you did the work. You're willing to just go through the season of stepping in before you had proof that it was all going to work. That is what's required. You're not going to get anywhere without that. Not in this field. It's required. You must leap before you feel ready. You must stick it out. You have to stay in the room. Keep your foot on the pedal. You cannot, oh, I'm going to dabble for a bit and then I'm going to back out. I'm going to dabble for a bit at 70%. I'm going to tell myself a story that, oh, it didn't work. I can do this by myself. No, I'm going to implement everything I learned and blah, 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 blah. Nope. Ask any person in front of you if that shit works. That is the excuse we use to circle back around and stay at the same level that we're at because we want to take our attention off the growth. But if we just stay through it and we just push through and we just keep showing up and stay in a circumstance, what will happen usually for people, hopefully, for most of you, this will not happen, but for most of us, what happens is you will push it as far as you can until you don't have a choice but to now show up. You'll keep pushing it and keep kind of fucking off and keep half-assing a little bit, and you'll push it and push it and push it until the pain is big enough that you'll break through. And the way through that, so we don't have to do that cycle, is to lock in the reason why we're doing this and to smell, feel, and be present in that moment and to know it's yours and to choose to be the person, right? The very person that showed up, the way that created that feeling, that sensation, that vision that you have for yourself, and we decide to be that person today. No time has to pass. We lock it in today. I get to make decisions as her today. That's all there is to it. End of story. Make sense? I know I missed some stuff back here. Sometimes it is, but for me it feels like going deeper each time. Yes, unmotivated or scared shitless. Wow, that'd be amazing. Just keep swimming, swimming. I think for the first time ever, it doesn't feel like just swimming to me. I'm so glad you just said that. This time it feels like I'm pulling. Before it felt like I was pushing. Now it feels like I'm pulling towards me. Yes, survival felt like pushing, like I was pushing a boulder up a mountain, pushing. And I would just lock in like, oh, I got this. And like, I would envision this, like I had like shield on my body and I was like on a hill and the whole world was coming after me and my kids. And I was just like slaying people. And like, this was like the energy I locked in before. And it felt like pushing a boulder up the hill. Shifting out of that into thriving feels like pulling towards me. Like I'm pulling the stars to me. That's what it feels like. It's a completely different kind of energy. Not that I am not super grateful to have the energy of throwing on my fucking art, my armor and swords and being able to slay if I need to. I'm really grateful for that skill and it makes me feel powerful and safe. But that's not the energy I live in anymore. It's not the energy of this. This up level feels like pulling stars towards me, like swallowing a shooting star. And it's like in my body propelling me. That's what this feels like. It's so different. It is so different. And we'll see, right? Like literally, I already know if this is an appropriate vision, my behavior will literally just change and I'll show up at the next level. All messy and ungraceful because we're human, but I will show up at the next level and I will crush this year and I will double my business and I will travel 10 days every year and I will get to know all the people in that room and I will share all the value that I have with you guys and I will call everybody to the levels that I brought myself to and we're going to just do this all together and my kids are going to have a powerful experience of their mother and I'm going to change the trajectory of many lives, including my own. This is the vision and I know it's going to happen and I'm very excited about it. And not to mention, let's just be real, what it feels like for me to say this out loud to you guys. Like to call myself to a place of investing over 6 figures, knowing I'm a single mom of 2 children who need me and I'm being called to a new level with them to stop rescuing on any level and to start kicking them out of the nest a bit. And knowing that I'm going to be traveling 10 days out of the month for an entire year while I am calling myself to a whole new level in my business. And really, so I'm doing double the amount in 2/3 of the time. And then also just say it out loud to you guys and just tell you the honest truth. Like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going for. Part of the reason I say it to you, well, the biggest reason I say it to you is genuinely because I want you to know what it looks like on the back end. Like, this is the shit really going down. So if you're over there playing safe and nicey nice and telling yourself I'll figure it out myself and I'll just keep trying and see what happens and I hope this works, that is not how we play this game. That is not how we do life. That is not going to get you what you want. So I'm really just telling you an honest truth so that you can have the information you need to make the decisions moving forward. My job is only to support you to make to have clarity, to make the most empowered decision for yourself. It's not to get you to decide to do it. It's not to tell you to do it like this. It's to clear the blocks so you feel empowered and you have a powerful vision. You can see it and you can be like, okay, I can see this clearly. and I can make an empowered decision for myself. And then I trust you to be able to walk yourself through that line and for you to call yourself to that level. So I tell you guys, because that's just how I want to do life. I want to be really honest and vulnerable, and I want to give you guys behind the scenes so you know what, like, okay, that's what it really looks like, because it can seem so different on social media. Like everybody's just all frolicking and out having fun, and they're never working or never working through hard stuff. Hell no. Every person I know who's ahead of me that I've gotten to know their life, they show up huge and do brave, scary shit constantly. And yes, we have a ton of fun because that's how we want to do life. But there's really, really scary things that we're calling ourselves to. And then the other part of it is just, it's another level of commitment for me, right? If I say I'm committed to show up at 100%, then why would I hesitate for 1 second to tell you guys? If I believe myself, if I believe that I'm locked into it and my why is really incredibly powerful, and I feel like I've been called to be able to lead people to lock this in for themselves and to show up to this level, and I believe that I'm fully capable, able, have truly decided and locked this in, then why would I hesitate to say it? And so I just sort of chuckled like, yeah, of course I'm going to say it, because why not? It serves you, it serves me. This is a win-win. Swallowing a shooting star, LOL. You should use that on your marketing for Hearts on Fire. You know, a friend of mine actually said that to me, a friend from Arizona. He said I was like, experiencing me was like swallowing a shooting star. And I've always loved that one. And now I have that locked in as like a feeling. I know that feeling. It's really good. Okay, so if you have any questions about this, please let me know. I'd love to hear. Have a good day, Ruth. I'd love to hear anything that comes up for you around this. God, I'm just so locked in and passionate about this. If you can make it to the live event, please come. I've made this incredibly affordable. It's $9.97. If you're currently in one of my groups, let me know. I have a special price for any current clients. It's only $9.97 for the 2 days, and then you'll book a room, and get your food and stuff like that. And the flight, I can show you, I'll tell you the airports and everything where we're flying in. And if not, at very least, let's book a one-on-one call to get this locked in, because, why would we ever try and attempt to show up life without this? It's insane. It's like trying to run without legs. It's trying to breathe without lungs. It's trying to change the world without a vision. It's just don't. That's it. Like literally, can we just set the standard right now that no matter what it is, if it's neither one of these offers are resonating with you, something though, and it needs to be now, like while you have the clarity. Don't wait 4 hours, because people are going to call you and things are going to happen and you're going to go off and do stuff, and the fog is going to start to roll back in and you're not going to remember. Right now, I don't believe in coincidences. You're here because you're meant to be here. You're meant to hear this. You're being called to this. Right? So you saw the title, right? Like you're here, you've decided, you're in my tribe, you're doing this. Stefan, the 60-minute is $750, the 90-minute is $1,000. And I do offer payment plans because I want everybody to be able to experience it. So if if one of these resonates, it's now. It's like a now time. Like do it now, commit to it now. Like Tony Robbins says, never leave the scene of a breakthrough without making a committed action. Because if you're not brave enough to do it when you're clear and you feel motivated and you can see it clearly and you have support and you're sort of in that energy, you're call it like peak state is what it's referred to. So you're in a peak state. What makes you think you're going to be able to do it when you're not? Do you know what I mean? Like it's now or never. It's when we're in peak state or never. And I know that. And so I will always make decisions when I'm in peak state. And of course, when I'm out of peak state, I'm like, what the hell did I just do? Why am I doing this? I don't know why I'm doing this, right? And I freak out and then get myself back into peak state. So this is what that's what it looks like. Other ideas I have are, maybe a book that resonates with you that you're feeling called to or something. Any of my programs online, they're open for sale now. So you can go on my website, mandyperry.com, check out any of the programs on there. The team has been slowly turning over the sales pages so that they're for purchase. If something still says there's a waiting list, just reach out. We'll let you know. We'll give you the link. Whatever you feel called to. I do have a purpose program on there. It's only $197. It's a 1-day training that I did to help you lock in your purpose. So any way that I can support you and love on you guys, I want to, because this is what life should feel like. Like we're always a child where Christmas is in a day or two. Like that's what it should feel like. And we get to experience Christmas over and over. It's like, wake up, Christmas is in 2 days. Christmas is 1 day. This is Christmas Eve. It's Christmas. Repeat. Christmas is in 2 days. Yay, it's Christmas Eve. Oh my God, it's Christmas. Repeat. Like that's what life is meant to feel like, over and over and over. Just endless gifts and beautiful breakthroughs and connections and people and awe moments and just safety and security and being able to have powerful stuff to give back, being a really valuable human being. Like we just get to have that. There's no reason. Why not you? Why not you? this is what it looks like. And I hope this served you guys to get a little glimpse on what it looks like on the back end. And if either one of those offers resonates, just reach out. And if there's anything else I can do to serve you, please let me know. I love you guys so much. If you feel like you got value from this, feel free to share the video or tag a friend below so we can just reach more people and support them and do this all together. Do life together. I love my tribe so much. I'm so incredibly grateful for you guys. I love you all to pieces. I can't wait for those of you I'm going to see this weekend in person and hug the crap out of you. We're going to have so much fun. And everybody else, I will see you mañana. Have a fantastic weekend. Happy Sunday. Bye, guys.